Hello, replay viewers. Hello, live viewers as you come in. Hey guys, you are absolutely awesome. I apologize for being a couple minutes late here today. We are reviewing Grant Cardone. Hey, Greg Harvey, thanks for popping in and inviting out with your followers, my friend. We are talking about Grant Cardone. Lorena, thank you so much for being here. I got Ziz come in. I think Ziz is new to me. I got emails and things popping up. Don't you love when things are good? Shades of a Diva. What an excellent name. Thank you so much for coming in. Lorena, thank you so much for inviting your followers. Coach Casey Renee. Casey, make sure that you have check your email because I sent it out to you last night. So thank you guys so much for being here. I got a lot of chocolate hearts going on from both Karina and Greg. I appreciate the hearts, guys, and the love as we got people in here. Awesome. Can't wait to see you on tonight's Scope Train. So we are reviewing the 10X Rule. Hello, Matthew. How are you doing? With Grant Cardone. The book is coming to an end. I was going to do 2 chapters today, but chapter 19, guys, is a doozy and wanted to devote special time to that. Customer satisfaction is the wrong target, so I wanted to do that. Yes, if you are interested in bringing an audience to yourself, scared of scoping or anything like that, Greg Harvey, just put in there, ryanroy.me, Scope Train. I'm doing phenomenal, my man. Great morning. It's always a great morning, man. When we get up and we set the intention to have a phenomenal or great morning, that's what we do. For those of you who may or may not know who I am, my name is Ryan Roy. I am an accountability coach, an action coach, a success coach. Right? I help people formulate their goals, their big dreams, aspirations, goals. I help them clarify them, break them down into what I call small actionable steps, and then we get them to take those steps so that they can actually achieve the success they desire. Thank you so much, Matthew. I appreciate it. Lisa Bechtel in the house. You are phenomenal. I love Lisa. And guys, follow Matthew if you're not following Matthew, and definitely follow Lisa. If you're not following those guys, everybody in this room, literally guys, everybody in this room right now throw a 1 up. Just everybody in a room throw a 1 up, because if you guys are in my room, it's a bunch of phenomenal people in here, and you all should be following each other. So if you see a name come up and an action taker, every single one of you should be following each other, in my opinion. Newme22, thank you so much for joining. So let's get into the content today. Put a ready in the box if you guys are ready, and that gives you another opportunity to follow someone who flew by. Hello, Newme, what's your name? Let me acknowledge you by name, not by Newme. Greg's ready. I like this chapter. This chapter got me excited as I was reading it. It just made me think of all the naysayers, man. It made me think of all the naysayers, right? Camille, thank you so much for being here. Welcome to my broadcast. So, invited it out. Am I back? Am I back? Something funky happened with the screen. Is chapter 19 your favorite chapter, right? So, chapter 18, we're on chapter 18 though. Chapter 18 is criticism is a sign of success. Guys, criticism is a sign of success. Put a 5 in the box. Good morning, Carrie. Put a 5 in the box if you guys have ever been criticized for anything you've done. And I'm going to share something. It's not funny, but I did take some criticism for something I did just yesterday. And I find it so interesting that as I'm taking action, people, I don't know what's going on with the phone, but it keeps zonking out a little bit there. So let's hope that you guys are still with me. So this is what he talks about. No problem, Rafia. Glad you're here. Although getting criticized is certainly not the best feeling in the world, there's great news. Receiving criticism is a surefire sign that you are well on your way. Criticism is something that you should expect to come your way once you start hitting it big or taking massive action. So how many of you have been following me on my plank challenge on Facebook? And if not, you guys can follow me on Facebook. I'm Ryan Roy on Facebook. You guys can't miss me. I got my cute son next to me. So if you've been watching me do a plank, and what a plank is you get on your elbows almost in a push-up position, back flat, and then it's really difficult to hold that position for a sustained period of time. There's a lot of other people who have gotten on this plank challenge. I'm on day 54 right now. So here's where the criticism comes in. About 2 days ago, I realized when I watched other people's planks, When I watch other people doing this, hey, David, thank you so much for coming in. As I'm watching other people, I'm saying, man, all I see is their face. I don't see their whole body. I wonder if people, if the camera is too close to me, that people can't see that I'm actually planking and going through the same struggles. So I literally say on my broadcast the other day on Facebook Live, hey, I'm going to back up so that you guys can see my whole body because there's people that I can't see their body. So that's what I'm doing. The criticism came of people literally coming at me in private messages saying, well, I get up close because I have a big belly. And that's why I'm not showing it and I'm working on it. How dare you say that to me that I'm not doing it right? I didn't say you weren't doing it right. I was saying that I'm backing up so that people can see that I'm doing it. Because that was my thing. Nothing I said in there was against anybody. I didn't name any names. I wasn't even thinking of anybody in particular. I just remembered. So I got all this criticism that I shouldn't be saying things like that. I was talking about me, but people's insecurities had them feeling as though I was talking about you. I can name your name. You can name my name. Shammies. I don't know who said it. It's all about me, not about them. But people start criticizing what I say based on their, hey, what's going on, Shammies? Boom, we'll give you a little dash. 3-minute planks get me every time. However, throw some competition in there and I'll hold. There you go. Boom. So Shammies, thank you for doing it. So I got some criticism for saying something that was all about me. But here's the thing. Hundreds of people are watching the plank. Hundreds of people are being inspired. Hundreds of people are doing something because I'm doing it that's getting them healthy. I can't be concerned about the 3, 4, 5, 6 people whose feelings were hurt because I said something that they took personal. Can I get an amen for some people in here? Can I get an amen? We can't stop doing what we do because we hurt a few people's feelings because they took what we said out of context. That's it. Hundreds of people watching and show up and are doing this. Guys, don't stop what you're doing because of a little criticism. Because you know, those things, guys, I'm be honest, it bothers me that someone thinks that I called them fat. It bothers me that somebody may be thinking that I'm saying something negative towards somebody because I want to empower people. I don't want to power people. I don't want to hurt people. I want to empower people to get to the next level, right? So just know that you're empowering more than you are hurting when you're getting criticism. When you start taking the right amount of action and therefore creating success, criticism is often not far behind, is what Grant says. This may be why some people avoid attention in the first place. It's an attempt to dodge judgment. Yup, you empower more than you hurt, and that's absolutely right, Lisa. Think about that. I want to read that part again. People avoid criticism and avoid attention in the first place as an attempt to dodge judgment. Right? Nobody wants to be judged. An attempt to avoid judgment. That's it. It's an attempt to avoid judgment. So people don't take action. No matter what you're doing to receive criticism, would you rather receive it from people who are jealous of your success? Because you're going to get criticism no matter what. So think about this. He says, no matter what, you're going to receive it. But would you rather receive it from people who are jealous of your success, those naysayers, than from your family, your boss, or your bill collectors because you didn't take enough action? Ooh. I'd rather take the criticism for taking massive action instead of my wife saying, why are you a lazy butt? Or from my mom saying, you're not the son I raised. Or from the bill collectors as my phone's blowing up with 800 numbers. And I know that, guys, because I failed for bankruptcy, right? It wasn't, I didn't take enough action. I'll be honest with you. That's why I take ownership of that. And the bill collector saying, you owe us many, many years ago. That's the thing, guys. Where do you want the criticism to come from? From those criticizing your success or those criticizing your laziness, your failures, your lack thereof, or the bill collectors? Put a 1 in the box if you want your naysayers coming from the people who are jealous of your success. Put a 1 in the box if you want the naysayers to be the ones that are jealous of your success, and that's where the criticism is coming from. Put a 1 in the box. Kim, that's it, because Kim's a success story. Dave is a success story. Rafia's a success story. Lisa just joined back. She's a success story. Greg's a success story. Carrie's a success story. Matthew's got a lot of ones. He just wants to keep hitting it, right, Matthew? That's right. He doesn't even stop at 1, guys. We're talking about 10x. I asked you all to put one in there, and what did Matthew do? He said, I'm gonna 10x it and put 10 in there because I want to have massive, massive success, right? When you start taking action, it won't be long before you're judged by people who aren't taking any action. I love that, Rafia. Thank you for doing that. You want it all, and you're going to get it all. You just got to put in the energy and effort to do so and connect with the right people. Some will admire you. Some will want, once you hit the success, guys, some will admire you. Some will want to learn from you. But unfortunately, listen to this. This is the one that kills it. Unfortunately, most people will envy you. And that's where the criticism will come in. These are the people who use excuses for not doing enough, and they will morph those into reasons why you're doing it all wrong. I did my plank wrong the other day. I told people that I'm backing up because I wanted people to see me planking. Oh my God, he shouldn't be saying that. It's a lot flattering when you really put it into perspective. When you put it into perspective, when people are telling you, man, why do you do that scope train every single week? How many people come through that? How many connections, how many of you know or have seen my scope train? Put a 1 in the box. How many of you know of me from the scope train or met me on the scope train or was on my scope train? Put a 1 in the box. And it's the people that are in here that continue to come back because you met me from the scope train. More than 25% of you know me about my scope train. Why? Because I've been doing it for 4 months consistently every single week, at least once a week. Started on Thursdays, moved to Tuesdays. And if you want to be on the scope train, go to ryanroy.me/train. You are so welcome, Matthew. But who reached out first, Matthew? Who took massive action first, Matthew? Matthew reached out to me and he says, man, I got something for you. I said, man, shoot me an email. Because so many people have something for me and I say, shoot me an email and they don't show up. So Matthew shot me an email, and when he shot me an email, he says, I've got something for you. And I said to him, how much does it cost? And he says, man, don't worry about the cost. I'm going to take care of you with something. When the time is right and when you get the product, then you pay me if you like it. And I was ready to pay right there and then. And then I said to him, guys, take notice of this. He reached out to help me with something that I had a challenge with. And then listen to this. The next thing I said to him, I said, Matthew, thank you for helping me. How is it that I can help you? And he says, man, I just need to learn some of this stuff here on Periscope. And I invited him onto my scope train. Guys, that's connecting. He didn't call me because he wanted something. He called me because he wanted to serve me. And because he wanted to serve me, I in turn wanted to serve him. And that's how business relationships are built. Now go and 10x that and do that 10 times a day. And look at the network. They say your network is your net worth. That's right. But you did it the right way. Your network is your net worth. Very, very smart approach. But he's a sales guy, guys. And if I'm telling you that he's doing it right, don't you think you should be following that young man right there and saying, man, I want to watch his scopes and see what he's all about? Because that's how you do business. You find out how you can serve somebody, and if in turn they want to serve you back, great. Go in with zero expectations. I know he went in with zero expectations. He just wants to be surrounded by like-minded people. So some people will sit there and tell you what you're doing wrong. And then they'll say, hey, why are you spending so much time with that new client? They're never going to buy anything from you. Or, you should enjoy life more. It's not all about work, you know. You rock, man. Listen, I support people who are smart, man. If I see value in you, I'm going to support you. And everybody in here knows that. These are the kind of things that people say to you to make themselves feel better. because they know they're sitting their butt on the couch. They know they're sitting their butt on the couch. So they say things like to you, like, you should relax more because that's what they're doing. But guess what? You're getting results and they're not. Okay, I won't tell everybody you're a smart man. Only in certain instances, right? Surround yourself with the kind of people you aspire to be. Absolutely. Thank you so much, Lisa. So I'm going to give you 3 examples that he talked about in the book. And the first one is awesome sauce. Are you guys ready for the first example? And then we're going to get through these, and it's going to be quick and done and over, and then we're going to do tomorrow. Bam. So 3 examples. And I'm going to read the first one off. He said, a client called my company to complain that my staff had been following up with him too aggressively. Too aggressively. I called to ask him what the problem was. After listening to him malign my employees for doing what was essentially their job, I said to him, this is Grant, knock it off. They're simply doing what they know is right because they know we can help you. The fact that you haven't made a decision to move forward and pull the trigger is what you should be criticized for. But I will refrain from doing so because I'll refrain from doing so because it won't do either of us any good. Now let's stop the negativity and do something positive and move forward with my company, is what he said. Then he rewarded his staff for aggressively following up with the client and receiving the complaints that there was too much follow-up. That's an indication that his staff was moving in the right direction. He refused to let the client's protest stop him and his staff for their efforts in getting his business. We all understand that criticism is a part of success, and he won't apologize for any employee of his who is seeking success. In case you were wondering, he did close the deal, and that very same client now tells people with admiration and praise, those guys follow up like maniacs. Dude, that's right. He backed his people up because they're doing exactly what he told them to do. Don't apologize for success. And as a matter of fact, criticize you for not moving forward because obviously we know what it takes to get some sales. You may be annoyed by us, but guess what? How often do you follow up? And you think it's a problem to follow up. Therefore, you don't have the success that us and our company have. The second one. Grant says when he was early in his career, he learned the sales skills so that he could become the #1 sales guy in his industry at the time. And the figures that follow it up, right? He says, do you think that he got criticized? Yes. Of course he did. They made jokes about him. They poked fun at him. They tried to distract him. And they even tried to convince him to cease the very actions that had gotten him where he was. Those were the low performers that did that. They make others think they're wrong for doing what is necessary in order to make themselves feel okay about doing nothing. It's criticism, guys. That's their own insecurities that are coming out. Again, the plank challenge, guys, simple thing that just happened to me yesterday. I was criticized because I show up every single day, and what I get most on there is I make it look easy. People, doing a 3-minute plank this morning was not easy. The thing is, I've been doing it for 52 straight days. Therefore, I make it look easy. But guess what? It's not that it's easy. It's that I've gotten better at it. And if they show up every day, they'll get better at it too. But people would rather criticize my positioning of the camera. Fucking nuts. Really? Really? That's what you got to criticize? Boom. The last one that he talks about was he had a best-selling book. He goes, when my book, If You're Not First, You're Last, hit the New York Times bestseller list, some of the supposed competitors immediately began criticizing him. Ready? One person called his book title arrogant. If you're not first, you're last. Arrogant. Another asked, who does Cardone think he is? Yet another suggested that I was getting too big for my own good. One person called him to say that he had to find a new editor. He claimed that the grammar was wrong. The grammar was wrong in his best-selling book. Do you think the people that paid $22 for his book really cared that there was a few grammatical errors, or were they focused on the content and applying it, right? He goes, did I pay attention to any of these comments? Not for a second. He had a New York Times bestseller. He had a New York Times bestseller, and people who have never written a blog article or an article for anything, or even anything since high school, maybe even college, is telling him, hey, the grammar's off. That's why they're focused on the wrong things, and Grant's focused on helping people. Because, guys, I wrote my first book, and I know there's grammatical errors because I've caught them afterwards. But guess what? Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Boom. So, what he says last, criticism precedes admiration. Like it or not, they go hand in hand with success. And that's the end of the chapter. So, the questions are, what have you learned about criticism? What I've learned about criticism is this. It's good. It means you're taking enough action, and it's usually a reflection of somebody else's own insecurities because you're crushing them. Rose Peaks, how you doing? Great to see you. It's because you're crushing them. You're crushing the competition, and because they're paying attention to you, guess what? They're losing their own momentum. It fuels you. I actually like criticism. I have an older brother, which was kind of like a father figure, and he criticized everything I did, and everything he told me I couldn't do, I ended up succeeding in because I needed to prove him wrong. I gotta put that in my book. Lisa, remind me to put that in my book. What criticisms would you most like to hear from people? I over-deliver. I spend too much time with my clients. I want people to sit there and tell me, nobody likes criticism, but here's the thing, Angelina, because I know you just came in. If you're being criticized, it means you're doing something right. If you want, criticism is a form of somebody else's own insecurity, and if you're doing something that makes them insecure about themselves, it means you're doing something right. So go and do it. You know what? I don't know if I love being the underdog. But I love people telling me that I can't do something. Like, just tell me I can't do something and see what happens. It actually fuels me, like Lisa said. It's fuel to that fire. And then the last thing, it says, give 3 examples of when you have seen people go from criticizing others to admiring them. And some of you know Rodney Smith. He's a client of mine. He's lost 95.9 pounds in the last 11 months. And at the beginning, he would go to parties and he wasn't eating the way he used to eat. People would say, oh, come on, man, just eat it. It's the weekend, or just this. And they were criticizing him for not enjoying himself. But guess what? Here he is, about a week away from his goal, because he's going into hyper mode. He's going to lose 3.9 pounds or more this week, and he's going to hit his 100-pound goal mark 3 weeks before the goal date, because he's put in the work, energy, and effort. And now guess what's happening to Rodney all over social media? How'd you do it? Can you help me? Oh my God, that's a phenomenal story. And guess what? Now they're admiring him for his consistency, his persistence, his dedication to himself, his own goals, his wife, who he wants to be healthy for so he could be around for many, many years. So that's one instance that I saw people. As a child, playing volleyball. Guys, I got a volleyball scholarship to play ball in high school. And I remember when all my friends were going out on Friday and Saturday nights, and I wouldn't go out, and I'd be up at 7 a.m. and at the beach playing ball. And I would put in extra laps after practice, running stadium stairs to keep my legs strong. Everyone was saying, man, you play that game too much. It's just a game. But guess what paved my way to go to college? Then they were like, oh my God, you got a scholarship? Oh my God, you won a championship? Oh my God, you're in the newspaper? Oh my God, you're all county? Criticism turned into admiration. And then the last one, when I started my coaching business. You know how many people started telling me, dude, what's a life coach? Why would somebody need a life coach? You're never going to make any money at that. You never. Who the heck would pay for that? People criticize what they don't understand. here I am multiple years later, almost going on 4 years now, and people are like, oh my God, you get to work from home? You get to drop your son off every day and pick him up? You get to spend weekends with your family? You go on multiple vacations? You get to choose your time? Guess what? That's right, I do. But I tell you what, at the beginning, people were like, you can't work from home. That's their own stuff. So guys, that was chapter 18, and I don't even remember the title. Criticism is a sign of success. Tomorrow's title is Customer Satisfaction is the Wrong Target. If they don't get it, it's wrong, right? What areas, I'm going to ask really quick, what areas of criticism do you guys see that turn into admiration? Just give it a name, and I may know the person or may not, and you could elaborate on it. Success or on the way to success is the breeding ground for criticism. Water the ground and grow yourself. You're welcome. Thank you so much for being here, Lorena. Guys, I am a coach. I help people work through the mindsets of this. Bobby, they don't know the benefits, or they don't think it's capable of doing it for them. Go to ryanroy.me to find out a little bit about me. If you want the book, if you're just now getting in, you could go to that bit.ly link, bit.ly/action10x, and that will get you a link to the book. It is an affiliate link of mine, but it's also the cheapest I found it anywhere. And you can get a complimentary coaching session if you haven't had it from me at my awesome website. If anybody needs any web services, design, my web designer, throw that up again, Greg, is Greg Harvey. If you like the way my site looks and you need a site yourself, reach out to Greg, and his information we'll put in there, ryanroy.me. So guys, have an absolutely phenomenal rest of your day. Go out and crush it. Oh, Lorena, that kills me, right? So they believe they don't have what it takes. I know they have what it takes. They just need the guidance. And so many people do not sit there and believe in themselves because nobody has believed in them. Thank you so much, Matthew. So I believe that anybody is capable. Listen, there's guys out there who are talking speakers who don't have any limbs. I don't remember the guys' names. I've seen them. They're all over TEDx. And they sit up, and guys, I'm not trying to be harsh here. They're stumps. They got no arms and no legs, and they're speaking life into people. And then there's people out there with perfectly good health talking about, I have nothing to give. There you go, Nick. So I'll do it, Greg. I'll do it, all right? We all have a story. We all have a gift. We've all gone through hardships. And wouldn't it be amazing if all of us sat there and helped somebody else who has started on a path of challenge that we had, that we could help them, their learning curve, get through that much quicker. And all of us are capable of doing that. What Greg is talking about, guys, tonight at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time in the United States, I host a scope train. A scope train consists of a series of broadcasts, 5 minutes at a clip, where people get to introduce themselves to a group of people. Tonight, we are fortunate enough to have Mrs. Colorado America 2016 do her second ever broadcast on the scope train. So we also have a number of other amazing broadcasters coming on to share their stories, a little bit of themselves. It's a great way to find a number of people who are like-minded that you learn really quickly about them, whether or not you want to follow them. So the train is full tonight, Kim, and next week, I haven't really announced this, but my plank of 5 minutes is next week, and I'm going to do a plank train next week. Everyone who has done this, Sage, everyone who has done the plank challenge, who is willing to get on and do their 5 minutes live, is what I'm going to do next week. So some people already signed up for next week. What you could do is sign up for the following week if you want, and we'll get you on there, okay? So I'm going to do a plank train next week and watch people, an hour worth of people struggling through a 5 minute plank. And I think it's going to be exciting. I could be wrong. Greg Walker, the big dreamer, in the house. Guys, if you want to hear a phenomenal story, just because, Greg, I love you and I haven't seen you in a while. If you want to hear a phenomenal story, whenever this man scopes, he sits there and pours into people life. because he came from nothing and is a millionaire many times over for a man who didn't even have a high school education and came from a large family, and they used to have to pull worms out of the ground and sell them to the local store so they had food to eat for him and his 15 kids in the family, and they had to pull worms out of the ground and sell them to the local store so that they get food for money, or money for food. And he ended up going on to be an uber success. He calls himself the big dreamer because if you dream big, you could achieve anything. So I haven't seen you in a while, Greg. Great to see you in here. My scope is ending. I want to acknowledge those of you who are still in the room. David McCormick, Angelina E., Greg Walker, the big dreamer, also known as, right? Lisa Bechtal, Lorena, Sage, I tapped on. Awida, you are on tonight. Can't wait to see you again tonight. Greg Harvey, Rosa Speaks. We got Carrie Smith, Kim Buchanan. It's just E. I like that. Be Healthy for Life, Camille. Thank you so much for being here. Veronica, Sarah. And if I missed any of you, it's because you're not on the list. Periscope prevents me from seeing everybody. So know that I'm acknowledging you also. I also want to acknowledge the people out there on the web because you guys watch also. Guys, if you found value in this and you haven't invited it out with your followers and would like to do so, realize people can catch it on the replay. Feel free to do that now. I want to thank you for your time. You can spend your time anywhere, but you chose to spend it here with me for today. And for that, I thank you. Have an absolutely amazing day, and I'll see you on the Scope Train tonight, everybody. Bye. Thanks for all the share outs. I appreciate that. I'm going to give you a couple more seconds as people drop out, but you guys are dropping them in. Soundly Sleeping, catch the replay. Thank you so much for coming in. A few people just invited it out as we ended. Great day, guys.